The LeBron Stephen A. Smith. This was always going to be inevitable. And this goes to a broader, and if you're thinking like, well, this ain't got nothing to do with Cleveland. This ain't got nothing to do with a bunch of stuff. This is broader, right? Don't think of it as LeBron James. Think of this as athletes and media. And I've always had an issue with the media because, you know, I am actually part of the media. Tyvis Powell always says he ain't part of the media. And I've always said, yes, you are. You're definitely part of the media. But the reason why athletes sometimes don't want to be known as guys that are in the media is because of where we are in today's climate. And let me explain that. Where we are today is that the lines are completely blurred between whether you're a journalist or whether you're an opinion person. And it's a little crazy that you can be a journalist and go write articles and you ask people questions, and then you come back and give your opinion on it. That's where we are today. But I argue this started years ago. Let me first give you the backdrop, because I hate when I watch videos and people are like, well, what happened? I don't even know the backdrop. Let me give you the backdrop of what's going on. And I'm going to give you the backdrop what's going on through one Jason Whitlock. Now, mind you, sometimes I think Jason Whitlock is out of his mind. He says some of the craziest stuff in the world. I've had an opportunity to be on his show before. And Jason Whitlock be in left field on some of this stuff. But I'm going to tell you what, Jason Whitlock was dead on. This is courtesy of Fearless with Jason Whitlock when it comes to the LeBron James situation. Before we get into that, let's give the backstory so you guys can catch up on what's going on.
Stephen A. Smith courtside. And most people, lip readers, people that have seen this, I think they're trying to say LeBron said something about, hey, man, keep my son out of this. And so that's LeBron James getting very smoky with Stephen A. Smith courtside. Stephen A. Smith has gone on television and confirmed that LeBron confronted him. Let's go ahead and play Stephen A. Smith's explanation of LeBron James confronting him. I believe this is SOT number 4. Let's play that clip.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it was a one-on-one, I wouldn't say a conversation, but it was a one-on-one confrontation. But then I wake up and everybody from ESPN and my agent and everybody else were sending me that this thing had gone viral. And so ultimately it was unavoidable, and that is why I have to discuss it now. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. By all accounts, he's obviously a wonderful family man and a wonderful father who cares very, very deeply about his son. And based on some of the comments that he had heard, or shall I say, I think he thought he heard, he clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it. For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called, because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call. Had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out and I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man. But that is not what he elected to do. Instead, he elected to confront me while I was sitting courtside. Ari Emanuel, the head of William Morris Endeavor, one of the agencies that represents me, along with Larry David, was sitting courtside. I was with them for the game. And he walked right up to me and he said what he had to say. And apparently he feels like I was slighting his son.
Now, that is the backstory of what went down. That's courtesy of Fearless with Jason Whitlock. Let me get to this. Now, I've had the opportunity to talk to Stephen A. Smith, interview Stephen A. Smith. I've talked to both of these gentlemen, right? Here's the thing. Stephen A. Smith really don't care about none of that. He's made it be known. Stephen A. Smith is going to say how he feels, and that's just how he's going to get down. But here's the problem. There is an undertone of how we got to this point, and it started 10, 15 years ago. And it started 10, 15 years ago by the way that media members in the shock jock era started to really deal with athletes. And Jason Whitlock in his next clip really breaks this down. Jason Whitlock really breaks this down because I work with Jay Crawford, and he was part of the people that brought on First Take and Embrace Debate movement. And I've told him, and he knows this, I told him directly on multiple times, I believe that show was groundbreaking, it was innovative, but it was also very destructive, because what it did, it showed people that there was a certain way that you interact with players that got you ratings, and those ratings brought you the bag, and the escalation happens, and it becomes where not only were people saying, "Oh, I could go at you personally," but I'm gonna tell you to your face what I think and what I want to get to. And major corporations sponsor this. Now I'm gonna give you this montage down here, and I'm gonna give you the montage. And remember the backdrop of why where we are today, and why there's this thing that people in the NBA, when people talk about the NBA, I don't want to be the face of the NBA. This comes from this stuff. See, ain't nobody gonna give you this. Nobody gives you this because they want to dance around it, and I'm not supposed to say it because media people, you're supposed to be team media. But the reality of the situation, it been ugly in this game for a long time. Let me go get the receipts. It's a thing called the internet. Here's this montage, right? Let's go ahead and put this. Let's go ahead and put this out here.
Soaring. Let's revisit.
Here we go. Let me drop a bomb on it.
In light of women's college basketball soaring, let's revisit Don Imus. On his radio show, he said this of the Rutgers women's basketball team.
That's a nappy-headed out there, I'm going to tell you that now. Oh, man, that's some... Ooh. And the girls from Tennessee, they all look cute, you know, so... Like, kind of like a... I don't know.
Spike Lee thing.
Yeah.
The Jigabos versus the Wannabes.
Yeah,
that movie that he had.
Yeah, it was a tough.
Imus would land in hot water, though conservatives would defend him.
I don't think anybody should be fired over this. I don't think Don Imus should have been fired over his joke about the Rutgers basketball teams.
Jim, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
Check that. Chris Everett, good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
About 2 years, actually, Chris.
Well, we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time...
I already did it twice.
You call one more time, we better take a station break.
Well, it's a 5-minute segment, or a 5-segment show. We got a long way to go.
Well, we do.
We got a long way to go.
We do.
I'll get a couple segments out of you before.
Well, it's good to be here with you, though.
Well, it's good to see you, too.
Because you've been talking like this behind my back for a long time.
But now I said it right here.
Right, exactly.
Well, we got no problems then.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
My only problem is just the whole misuse of the name. If I stink it up on the court, that's fine. I don't have no problem with you. I love jokes. I love cracking on jokes. My thing is, my family, we take a lot of pride in our name. And my ancestors, my great-grandfather, my father, my grandfather, my aunts and uncles, we're very prideful with the Bosch name, and I don't like it being made fun of, and I don't think they appreciate it either. But that's all, really.
I respect the Bosch name, but I have no regrets with referring to you occasionally, especially early and at mid-season, as Bosch Spice.
This man just came up there and told you that he represents his grandfather, his lineage, people that don't play basketball. And he said, if you want to talk to me about my game, please leave me out of the mix in terms of saying that with my family name. And this man sat up there and told him, while I respect that, I don't regret calling you Bosh Spice. This is what that era brought. It brought people who felt like, I'm so big that I'll call you what I want, act how I want, say how I want, and then when you call me on it, I'm going to play the victim. No. You can't have it both ways, people. What you say on a microphone can get you punched in real life. Why would a man tell you, don't call me that no more? And you said, I've already called you that twice, Chris. That's the level of arrogance. And by the way, that's the level of arrogance that my man, and he ain't my man all the time. He be saying some crazy stuff. By the way, Jason Whitlock, you be out of the pocket too. Don't get twisted. But on this one, he's dead on.
Sit on the air. They sit on the air week after week after week, inviting idiots. This has been going on at ESPN, not just with First Take, but they're the leader of it. Hey, let's invite Kai Cenat on, TikToker. Hey, let's invite idiot gangster rappers on, and we can always do idiot gangster rapper. Who do you like, Jordan or LeBron? Barkley said ESPN has dumbed down the conversation about sports and made LeBron fans not like Michael fans, LeBron fans not like Michael Jordan, Jordan fans not like LeBron James. We've divided everything up. Basketball is this beautiful game, and we used to celebrate each other and celebrate the guys before us. But now ESPN, driven by Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, and this whole embrace debate movement started by Jamie Horowitz that has never gone away, it's destroyed the NBA. So again, Barkley's pointing the finger at ESPN. LeBron James, he's pretending like he's upset about Bronny James and the way Stephen A. Smith talks about Bronny James.
Watch this. This is where he got all of them together. This is facts. If you think that LeBron is really, really, really upset about what Bronny James, now granted, he is. He probably said, Bronny James gets a whole lot of grief that he probably shouldn't. By the way, he averaged 21 points and 5 assists in the G League. I mean, it's not like he's garbage. But the underlining thing here is why when I see Jason Whitlock, there's still some level of brilliance somewhere, because he hit the nail right on the head with this.
That's the justification, because he doesn't want to tell LeBron James, or he doesn't want to tell Stephen A. Smith and the rest of the media what he's really upset about. He's never liked the way he's been covered by ESPN. ESPN, Skip Bayless, and now Stephen A. Smith. They have been milking the LeBron James cow for 20 years straight. And Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James is saying, at my expense. They pitted me against Michael Jordan. And as I read to you all earlier this week or late last week when I started this discussion, that when I read to you all, here's Skip Bayless, when LeBron James is 21 years old and just lost a tough playoff series, I think, to the Detroit Pistons. Here's Skip Bayless launching this attack on LeBron. Oh, he's no Michael Jordan. He's not clutch. He doesn't have the clutch gene. He started that when LeBron was 21 years old, just in his third season. And LeBron James, as I said, like, hey, there's a lunatic on TV attacking me every day and comparing me in a negative light to Michael Jordan ever since I was 21.
And that was courtesy of fearless Jason Whitlock. And Jason Whitlock is correct. See, the reality of the situation is LeBron James salty about what's going on with Bronny and the way people cover him? Sure. But more than anything, LeBron James feels like, y'all been hating on me since day one. You never got over the decision. You minimized all of my championships. You've been you say Michael Jordan is better than me unequivocally at all times. You find anything that I'm gonna say, it's gonna be an issue. I got all the stats. I got all the I got all the records, all of the meaningful ones. I don't get it. I'm confused. How can I have the most games played, the most minutes? How can you say that I don't show up when I played the longest? I didn't retire in the middle of my career. I didn't retire because my coach, they wouldn't bring my coach back and I wouldn't want to play for the team. I didn't retire twice and go play football or something. I done played for all these organizations. I done won 3 championships for 3 organizations. I got more. I got, Magic Johnson is the GOAT to some people. Magic is the guy. I got more assists than Magic Johnson. For most people, they say, man, Dennis Rodman, man, that's great. He's a beast, man. What about Patrick Ewing, David Robinson? I have more rebounds than those guys. The only person with more 3-pointers in playoffs is Steph Curry. Then it's me. I got the most points in the postseason, got the most points in the regular season. The most time, how many time All-Star? I got 3 gold medals. I got 4 MVPs. I got 4 championships. I got 3 high school national championships, state of Ohio. I'm the rookie of the year. I got every record known to man, 22-time All-Star. I've been all NBA. I'm 40 years old and I average almost 30 points and 38 and 7. And guess what? Every time I turn around, it's Queen James this and LeBron ain't that. And let's be real, people. The only reason people put Kobe in front of LeBron, and this ain't a conversation. The reason they put Kobe in front of LeBron, because Kobe got he passed too early. When Kobe passed away, remember, prior to Kobe passing away, he was not a national treasure. We still used to have to get mad at people because they used to bring up the assault charges that he was acquitted of every single time they wanted to do an interview. So they don't give you your flowers till you're gone, and LeBron will understand that. But this is more of a bigger thing. Let's talk about the bigger part of it and what the media has an issue with. See, as a young man getting into the game and getting into the industry, they tell you one thing. You could go about this one or two ways. You can go about this being boring and having no takes, or you could be a hot take person, just like Jim Rome. You could be just like Skip Bayless. Maybe you could be Stephen A. And why would you not want to do that? Because here's what people is getting. We just heard what Don Imus was saying. Let's take a look at how much money he was making. I guess it pays to say inflammatory things. Don Imus's net worth was estimated at 100 million times at his time of his death in 2019. He earned his wealth through his career as a radio and television personality. Imus' primary source of income was his radio show Imus in the Morning, in which you heard the inflammatory things about the Rutgers people. That was a big thing back then. And Imus earned a salary of $20 million per year from the show. I guess it pays to say inflammatory stuff. You just saw Jim Rome. You got in a fight with somebody, calling them all outside of their name, right? Jim Rome, one of the highest paid broadcasters and highest paid radio personalities in the world. Under this current contract, Rome's annual salary is $30 million per year. For many, this salary made Jim the #1 highest paid sports broadcaster in the world. His record was topped in 2022 with the announcement of Tom Brady's 10-year, $375 million Fox deal. Well, at least Tom Brady won some Super Bowls. At least he threw some footballs and he was kind of good. At least I wouldn't have a problem with him getting it right. You see, when you say crazy things, you get paid for it. Why would you need to tell the truth anywhere in the media? Why would you need to do not let the truth get in the way of a good, entertaining story. Always remember that, boys and girls, the young ones coming up. Because you don't want to be working on the internet, getting paid nothing. You got to Most and foremost, first and foremost, you better be entertaining. Let's keep going. Skip. What's up, Skip? What is Skip Bayless's net worth and salary? Skip Bayless, it has a net worth of $17 million, man. It became a household name through his work as a commentator on ESPN2 First Take, right? Co-hosting the show. He wasn't the one to do on Undisputed. He turned on Shannon Sharp. We all know how that went. Over the years, Bayless has developed a reputation for being a commentator who pulls no punches, or some would say throws darts and low blows against people, but it is what it is. Although he is very knowledgeable about a wide range of sports. Did Skip Bayless write this? I'm done talking about this. Babe, make sure you vet these people. Who wrote that? I have to get my wife, my producer. I tell her she be playing around. He knows why. Get him up higher. Let's get to the last one. Stephen A. Smith. He just got a new deal. 5 years, $100 million. I'm not begrudging these men. It just shows that it's out there and it's available to get. Salute. I'm not going to hate on the person, but the reason I don't, 100 million? You don't get $100 million for just telling the regular truth. You don't get $100 million for just reading off the stats. You don't get $100 million of anything by being above board. So Stephen A. Smith, you had the solemn face on, you had the all pink suit, which I love. But let's not act like that it was a funeral. You know exactly what you got to do to get that $100 million. You know exactly what type of time we on. That's why you had to name drop everybody you was with. You name dropped your representation. You name dropped Larry David. You name dropped. He even name dropped and said, if LeBron wanted me to go talk to him right now, I'd get on a plane and move and go do it. All right. You got it. You should. 5 years, $100 million. But please, don't victim. No victim. You understand what debate shows do. You understand what debate shows don't do. And we understand that this is a signal to every single local, medium, or any guy that's sitting on the couch somewhere at home that want to get in the game. This is easy money. All you got to do is use buzzwords, regurgitate what people say, and say the most shocking things in the world, and maybe you could be the next successful journalist. Come on now. That's where this has brought us. So when you read these stories and you read these articles, understand that this ain't about you giving regular information, because they've already told my generation that if you want to be like that, if you want to make that money, or if you don't want AI programs and AI articles getting rid of you, you better come up and drum something up. So you better get in and you better be throwing punches with LeBron. You better be throwing shade on Durant. You better say there ain't no quarterbacks good. You got to call people's creeps. You got to call them scumbags. You got to point out every time they get in trouble. And then you better do it in an entertaining way. And then you might get in the industry. And this is why the barbershop's on Saturday by its own. This is why, look, I'm sure there's probably somebody in there right now. We're going to come back to this. I'm going to get your thoughts, what's going on with this. I'm going to get your thoughts. Then we're going to pivot to the Cavaliers. But this is why you on Saturday, G, but you can't be doing that. Why would you say all that? You're doing too much. That's why we don't like you, boy.